Alright, today we're going to take apart the dash so my wife can take all these pieces and paint them the same color of the car, give it a little custom look. I'll show you guys how to take out all these pieces, and then if you guys are going to do this, make sure you pick up one of these trim tool sets. I believe we got this from Home Depot. Just order it, so they're relatively easy to get. I've got you guys attached to the door, so I'm just going to pull you in here. Alright, so first we're going to start with this vent, and then we'll move on into the center console, and then we'll take the dash piece off. So this whole piece will kind of come off, and she'll be able to customize this whole piece. So I'll show you guys. Start with a little trim tool right here, and everything is just kind of clipped in. So, and this dash will move, kind of compresses a little bit. Kind of got to be brave and careful at the same time. Let's see. Here we go. Just kind of work your way around. Until it pops out loose. There we go. There we go. All right. So we'll take this whole piece apart. I'll show you a little bit later. So piece one. Now we're gonna remove the center. Pick a tool here. Here we go. Some kids playing in my cul-de-sac here. And we just work our way around it again. Alright, looks like we're going to need to remove this piece first, so if you guys just open this and kind of reach under and pull, that piece will come out loose, and these two are kind of connected together. See? Now we've got this piece off. Alright, now we can finish up with this one. And these vents should come out with it too. You guys. So these are some of the clips that we just disconnect. If your vent gives you a problem like mine did, that is all right. All right, vent's back in, so there we go. Alright, so there are some plugs right here. Gonna undo. Okay. So two plugs in there. This one's a little tricky, so it has this little lock, this little red tab, and then you got to kind of reach in and press this little piece of plastic right there. All right, so what we're going to do is now we're going to take out this little drawer right here. It's fairly simple. Just Just be gentle, that way you don't damage your drawer or the face of your drawer. You just grab and you push up and it'll pop out. Okay, keep in mind there's a plug in there. So, and then you just pull out. So up and then you pull out gently. Now we're gonna have to, I think my light just died. Now we're gonna have to put the car in neutral. So we're gonna turn it on without starting. Lies. Well, I guess it'll help to have the keys. Give me just a second. All right. Got the keys. Got my light back up. So make sure your e-brake's set. And then just pull this sucker out. Alright, before we unplug it, we're going to turn the car off. Probably going to be mad at me for a minute. Be alright. So here, there's two plugs right here. We're going to undo those. That was a fun one. So, if you guys look, here's the two connectors on the back of the little center drawer, right? For the media plug-in. So, it has two plugs, this one and the green one. If you guys want to see right down here, right? And the tabs are on the inside. So you kind of have to reach around and push the tab and pull out. Now the green one's particularly difficult because the tab is absolutely tiny. So I actually had to pull the box out like this, right? It doesn't give you a lot of slack. It sit in the passenger seat, and then I had to turn it over so I could see the back side and I could undo it. Alright, so note, that one can be particularly a pain in the butt. So in case you guys, alright, to fill you guys in, these two screws right here are T20, so we're going to undo those. Loosen them up, they're not that tight. Better move my car back into park. Alright. Bear with me while I take these off. So, what we're going to have to do to get this all out, so this whole thing, right, the whole center console is going to come out as one piece. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to remove these sides, kind of work our way back and take them off, and then this should pull up, this whole piece should pull up, and we should have our center console. We're going to have to disconnect all the switches and everything like that, but we should be good. Alright, see how it goes. So there's going to be two screws, one here and one here. I already removed that one, so we're going to see how this goes. I'm kind of working from this right here. I'm going to work my way down this edge right here. Okay, just kind of comes off so you guys can see the clips. They'll just kind of clip into the center console plastic frame, and now we got to do the other side. And let's see, I'm just kind of working my way down. Try to loosen all the clips. Alright, we'll resume when I get it off. What I happen to do is just slide my fingers in here to get this off. This one, for some reason, was a little bit more stubborn. I just slid them, push my fingers down this way, it just kind of popped off. Now this should just kind of let go. Come off the same way as the other one. Sweet deal. Alright, now let's get the rest of this stuff out of here. This should almost just lift out. Some clips. Oops. Don't do that. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of work away. So you're going to want to make sure that there are no other screws. Doesn't look like it. Looks like there could be a screw here, and there could be a screw in the bottom of your cup holder, but you know, I don't have them. So alright, so it just kind of pops up. Be careful. Try to get this all off as one piece, and then I'll work my way around the shifter afterwards. Wearing my glasses because my contacts, I touch my face too much. I'm trying not to get that corona. Up. Then forward, then it'll let go. Park it again. Parked. Now we're good. Make sure you don't sit on your screws. That way you'll make a hole in your seat. It's bad. Then you pull up. Interesting. Okay. So there's a bunch of stuff going on here. Let's see if we can get it out. Alright. There we go. Should never really be very hard. You shouldn't be pulling on wires or plugs at all at any time if they're hard. If it's hard to get out and you're pulling real hard, you're doing it wrong. It should be real easy. Alright, we've got this one last one right here. Yeah, it's connected directly to the circuit board. Alright, so what I did is because this tab right here wasn't pushing it down enough from the outside, I just used my tool, right, to push down further down here, and it came out just like it's supposed to. Alright, now let's get it disconnected from the shifter itself, so that I should be able to do this. See these two tabs? And out she comes. We'll just turn it a little bit. Careful not to scratch it. It's going to fight everything we do. And off she goes. There we go. There's the center console. Yeah, we'll work to take this apart further so I can get the trim pieces off and get this so she can paint it the way she wants to. Alright, sweet deal. Yeah, because I'll be able to get all of this off, this separated, so the brushed steel look trim separated, that gray plastic, and she'll be able to do it each individually. So it looks like, well, we'll see, because it looks like, if you look, they're heat welded. Right, so these might be heat welded to the frame, right? So wouldn't be my first time dremeling through a heat weld and then re-gluing it down. So I'll keep you guys tuned into that. We'll see what happens. Alright, moving on. Now we get to take the gauge cluster out. The gauge cluster out. I'm just going to pry on it a little bit. Should come loose. Shouldn't be too bad. Make sure we're prying on the right part. Looks like this trim piece is going to come off first. Let's take a look. There might be some screws under here. Yep, this trim piece definitely going to come off first. So there's a little piece right here. No screws. So it's definitely connected to our trim. Right. Okay, see what we can do now. Done. Guess you don't need to undo those screws, just for the dash, or the gauge cluster. So there we go. All the little clips. Doesn't hurt to be safe rather than sorry. So, for you guys who are going to do this, you don't need to undo those screws. However, you do still need to undo this piece right here. So I'm going to put those screws back in right quick. Alright, so now we've got the dash out. Oh, hey, look. So the wife will probably want to change this to a color, right? If she wants to add something custom. So I'm going to undo these little clips. Around this piece is going to be fragile. Should come off easy. There we go. Now she can get a nice little accent going. Sweet deal. Just kind of set that back in there where it's supposed to be. Alright, we're going to move on to this trim piece, which is probably going to be the hardest one. If I recall, we did the same thing in the GTI, and this was the hardest, most nerve-wracking one. And then we'll remove this vent, which won't be too bad. Now we're going to undo the vent. Push. Be gentle. Shouldn't take a lot to do this one. All right. There we go. Now mind you, there are these little rubber feet on this thing, these little pegs right here, right? There are a couple of them, 4 of them, so don't lose those. I mean, I don't know if it'll make a difference, but just help it tight fit. Right now, yes, this, start from the bottom. It will come out, but this one you have to be careful with. You can break it. So just patience is the key to this one. Woo! Alright, so show you guys what I did to get the first one to let loose. So, in here, so when you guys do get this, when this is released, it isn't going to just pull off. You have to kind of slide it to the right, and then it pulls off. So it has like this little lock right here, this guy, this piece of plastic right there, right? So you see I can push on it. What it is, I put my pry bar there and I pried on the back of that to kind of release, help release. This way you guys can kind of see how this comes apart. Okay. Top is obviously a better way to pry. Alright, so now we're going to go slide this way and it'll come off. So you guys can see why it's such a pain in the butt. So these two guys slide into these holes right here, slide over, and then we push it in. Right? I can get it back out. And then, so obviously, looking at this right here, right, we're going to want to pry from the top, not the bottom, because we'll be prying on a smaller piece. Alright, I think we have just the dash trim and the center console trim out. So now, my wife is going to paint it all up to match the rest of the car's design, which she's going to do since she started. So here, right, and she doesn't want me to record her doing it, but I think I'm going to sneak some clips of her working, because she does some pretty amazing stuff. Believe it or not, this is Plasti-Diff. Alright, stay tuned.